a mini reaction video. So I didn't really get to post that I was gonna go live. It just kind of spontaneously happened. I'm here watching the news, and so I wanted to go ahead and talk about this whole thing that's on the news right now, um, coming out about the president of the United States addressing I don't know, the public, and then all this stuff basically coming out about the Iran strikes, and the damage that was done or that wasn't done, statements that were made that were a lot of people feel were premature, and now some of the actual reports are coming back, and it seems like the damage may not have been as previously stated or indicated. Okay, so I was following this stuff like really, really closely. Like a lot of other people, like everybody else, mostly I would say in the world, keeping an eye on what's going on. Um, and everybody, I'm pretty sure most people were praying and hoping that things would just calm down and peace and all that good stuff, right? Everybody, nobody likes wars. Well, most people don't, right? So so I was following this pretty closely, and I'm also like a huge history buff. So I'm also a huge you know if I could do a parallel life, I probably would have did political science. Like, I love politics, right? So that's something that I follow a lot. International politics, domestic politics, regional politics. I like to keep up with what's going on in the world around me. And so for years, ever since, well, even before that, because I've already reacted to all of this stuff. I've already, talked about the fact that I don't believe any of this is really political anyway. It's all biblical with all the, I already made a whole thing. We went live, we talked about it, and all that good stuff. So we're not really gonna touch on that part. We're gonna leave that part out of it. My reaction is more so like, I just I just don't know how to be, like, I want to be politically correct, right? I don't want to say anything that's like super offensive. Um, Before we go ahead and get into my reaction, I want to shout out my Purple Heart member gangs. You guys will see this after it's re-uploaded to YouTube. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for all of your support. As always, you guys always come through, and we definitely appreciate and love you guys. So shout out to you guys in advance. If you guys want to join, if you like you know the content, if you want to check out the content, I do a plethora of different things. I'm very multifaceted, so I don't have like one particular genre that I stick to or adhere to. I'm kind of all over the place because my life is all over the place. I wear multiple hats, lots of hats. So there's always a lot going on. So there's something for everyone. If you want to check it out, definitely do so. If you guys like the content, definitely subscribe. We're on the way to 1K on this channel. So I'm excited about that. That's always fun. I will say this time around, I haven't really focused on the numbers so much. Like, I really I've been on YouTube for so long, like the numbers just don't even actually mean anything to me. I, of course, I'm grateful for the people who have followed me on all of my platforms, so that's always, nice. But like, I don't really worry too much about the numbers. I know that the people who are here rock with me, and I'm cool with that. That's cool. Like, bigger is not always better. Been there, done that. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. I wanted to react to the whole everyone is so shocked. Like, everyone is literally I don't believe the media is shocked. I do believe that, because I was watching CNN and I was like slightly turned off for a minute because I was like, what's going on over there? They're like super Trumpy. Um, but then I started thinking, and I thought to myself, nah, this is like a setup. This has to be a setup. This has to be a setup. And it turned out it looks like it was a setup, right? Because there's no way that, like, educated, intelligent people would ever think that this was like one and done, and wrap it up in a nice bow and here you go. Like, what? Like, come on. Like, that is not how this works. That is not how this works. Especially in that particular region of the world. Like, come on now. If it could have been done, it would have been done. I'm gonna just put it like that, right? There are many who have come before who, if it could have been done, it would have been done. It is never ever gonna be that easy. I don't know why people even fed into this. Like, they actually are acting so shocked. Like, oh my god, he said obliterated, and it's not really obliterated. Like, obliterated, really? You see, that's the problem when people don't educate themselves on the topics at hand. Like, come on now. Obliterated in the mountain, deep down in the mountain, probably like hovering above the magma. Like, that stuff is so deep down in there. It would take multiple, not just one and done. Come on now. Like, I wish people would stop, pretending to be dumb. Like, just use a little bit of common sense and stop blaming, this gentleman for every gullible thing that you gobble up because you want to feed into this BS. Like, let's be for real. Like, I never for once believed any of that stuff. Like, you guys have to learn the world that we're now living in. Like, North America might as well be, somewhere else in the world where it's all propaganda and, big bold titles. Like, it's crazy how the news is these days. And it's like they're screaming at you through the screen. It's all hyped. It's all like, come on, come on. Everybody knew this was going to come out. Sooner or later, it was going to be proven. Once the people on the ground said, hold on, wait a minute, we can't give any concrete feedback as to the damage assessment. We got to go deep down in there to see what's going on. We cannot give you a definitive answer. I already knew it was a wrap. Like, why did we let this drag on for so many days? And now this particular news cycle is going to drag on for another week. With the he said obliterated, it's not obliterated, and they this and the back and forth. Like, come on, we all knew it wasn't obliterated. We all knew that already. Like, give me a break. Like, if it was obliterated, like, you think they would have just did a little fake strike on the airbase? They would have killed everybody. Like, come on, let's like be for real. And then they had this whole thing going for like the last couple of days. Oh, where's the leader? Like, we haven't seen him. He's in the bunker. Blah 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 blah. Basically, like, taunting the man to reappear. And of course, he reappeared because you were trying to imply that he was not alive anymore. It's like, just give it a rest already. You know what I mean? It's like, give it a rest already. The rest of the world knew that nothing was destroyed. You don't see any other country's news talking about nothing was obliterated. Everybody, there was like a general understanding that, like, we're going to just wait for the professional assessments to come back. And then we'll have a discussion. Only certain groups of people fed into the hype. Like, I've started to realize the hype machine. Like, for real, for real. I used to be like glued to my freaking TV. Like, the last go around with the whole war and the whole thing, I was literally like, I barely moved. Like, I was on the 24-hour news cycle. And then I started realizing, like, this stuff is just way overhyped. It's way overhyped. It's almost like they used the whole, the way how the situations is. They use that whole thing against the establishment and actually fed into it. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, just made it seem like, yeah, 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 we're reporting everything here. And then at the end, it was just like, clearly, everybody knew this was not going to be one and done. Okay, now is where it gets real. Right now, you guys, everybody had the fun, the TV and the entertainment and the ratings, and it's all great and it's all fun. And we're going to talk about this again for another 5 weeks. But in the reality of things, there is a war going on, like in another part of the world, and it's getting real out of hand. You understand what I'm saying? And now the narrative is coming out that, you barely scratched the surface of the capability. So you don't need a glass ball anymore. We don't need any of that stuff anymore. You can almost see it playing out because this has become a script. Like North America is like, it's like a script. It's like we're in one big freaking reality show. It's disgusting. Like it's just everywhere. It's just crazy, right? Just unhinged stuff. So now it's going to come about where, well, we didn't really do any damage, so we might have to go back. Did you say go back? You might have to go back. You might have to go back. Really now? This is where it gets real, right? Cuz you didn't destroy, obliterate nothing. So, in order to actually do that, you would need to go back, right? And even do a bigger payload. What does that mean for the rest of the geopolitics that's going on while all this this other stuff is going on? What happens to the rest of the world? How is that going to go over? You got to go back. You barely made it out. No, we got to go back. So here we go again. We're back where we started, right? We're back where we started, and now we're playing where is the, what? It's gone. Nobody knows where it is. It's gone. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? You don't know where it is. Well, that's not good, right? Like, that's not good because you only need like 30 more percent, right? And then it's like lights out. So you would think you would know where that stuff is. Instead of focusing on that, we're here doing the he said, she said, you did, you did. When we all already freaking knew where this conversation was going to go. Like, why are we even wasting time about that? Why don't we find where the stuff is for real, for real? So that you don't actually have like a real life catastrophe. You know what I mean? Not no made for TV stuff, like real life stuff, right? Because we're kind of attached to these people. Like, we're attached. We share a continent. So, I'm not about to sit here and act like, whatever happens to them, it just happens to them. No, no, we literally share all the borders. We're attached, right? It's North America. So there's like a whole other country that gets affected by all this stuff. So I'm not about to sit here and act like it's cute or it's funny. But I had to laugh to myself. Like, are we seriously talking about we actually really believed that the stuff was like completely destroyed? Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Man, this is terrible. Like, why are we even feeding into this stuff? My true concern is what comes next. Because, you see, while we like to waste time in North America with the finger pointing and the he said, she said, and you know what, and the finger rolling and the this and that, and the dropping the big titles and shocking awe at these news conferences, and when oh my god, the zingers that be coming left, right, and center, and and the people thinking they did their big ones. It's like, do you understand that on the other side of the world though, there's people who are actually like at war and they're acting as such? By the time you figure that out, you know, it might be like, a little bit too late. I wish there would be like somebody who could like tell somebody in charge, like, you need to shift your focus. And of course, me just being me, I'm just a regular person. I'm a civilian. I don't work for the military. I'm not, I'm not privy to their their dealings. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what they're doing. So I can't comment on that stuff, obviously, right? But I would hope, like, I would hope as somebody who's life could be affected by this stuff. I would hope that there are people who are letting the TV stuff play out, but in the background, they're actually doing the real work, as you know, verifying the information, finding out the information, getting to the information. I hope there are actually people who are actually really doing the real work on the ground, and not just everybody, focused on the news cycle and the next big thing that's going to come out on the news. Because I'd want to know where the stuff is. And like, I'd be thinking by now they would have gotten what they needed. So, like, because it don't take, like, you don't have to be Stephen Hawkins to figure it out. If you just almost, like, you just like dropped a lot of stuff on me. Like, you could have, you know, we're already going through a lot with another set of people, and then like you came in and dun dun dun, and we could have been done. So now I'm thinking like, you know maybe some other people who are protected, maybe they're on the right track, because they don't get attacked ever. They might get a couple slugs in the media, but that's just for politics. But they don't actually get attacked because they know that, they're unhinged, and it would be bye bye everybody, and it would be quite okay. So they don't bother certain people. So it's just a matter of human nature and survival. You know what I mean? So I would skip all this other stuff and get straight back to the real life stuff, because this stuff is ridiculous. And I already know I don't need a crystal ball. I can guarantee it. If I can bet on anything, I can bet on this. This is going to drag on for a good week or so before we actually get to the real nitty gritty stuff, right? So be prepared. The back and forth, the slinging of the mud, the who's of this and who's of that, and the women this and women shouldn't be this, and all the other stuff that's distracting, when in real life there's a real problem going on. And I'm not really I'm gonna let the news do its thing, but you can go watch the news. Like, everybody's aware. The people who need to be aware are aware. Like, this is very dangerous times, and these people are treating it like some type of reality show. Like, oh my god, like, let me go up there and insult the women, or let me go up there and belittle the reporters, or let me go up there and ask these questions and aggravate the people and show this and prove that. Like, it's just both sides. Like, I'm very much Switzerland in this. Both sides. Everybody is poking everybody, and nobody is focused. So I hope that the people in charge can get back to being focused, because this is by no means over with. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing that I'm watching play out on my newsfeed. If you have a different opinion, feel free to leave it in the comments. It's a free country for now. So yeah, leave it in the comments. We could talk about it. If not, thank you guys for watching or listening. I should say. Stay up and stay blessed. And we'll catch up with you guys in another video. Deuces.